Well, Council has endorsed the draft operational plan, revenue policy and fees and charges for 2020-2021 for public exhibition. Now, the budget takes into consideration the impact of COVID-19 and also the summer's horrendous bushfires and the impact that they've had on our organisation. But I'm pleased to say the budget delivers an operational surplus of 3.3 million and includes more than 167 million of capital works across the local government area. Now, factoring in our capital works long-term borrowing program, we are sound in meeting the financial benchmarks set by the New South Wales Office of Local Government and as required of all councils. Some of the capital works include black spot funded road improvements and other road projects, including on Tarago Road, progressing the Queanbeyan Civic and Cultural Precinct along with the Monero Street transformation, upgrades to certain sports fields and playgrounds, and construction of off-street car parks in Bungendore and also Braidwood and more.
So our 2020-21 budget is around $300 million. You'll see it from our operational plan there is quite a significant capital investment. But initially, the first things to recognise is that about half of all of our income comes from rates and annual charges. About a third of our income also comes from fees and charges, and the balance from grants. We are quite successful in our ability to attract grants from both levels of government. On our expenditure side, again, around about a third of all of our expenses goes towards the employment of staff, and about a third again on engaging contractors and material suppliers in our area. So let's talk about some of the big projects we have coming up in the next 12 months. We're looking forward to completing stages 1 of both the Regional Sports Complex at South Jerrabomberra and stage 1 of the Bungendore Sports Hub. They're all projects that have been waited on for quite some time, and we're looking forward to delivering those. Likewise, we'll be continuing our work in completing the resealing, the sealing and the alignment of the Tarago Road, because ultimately that will make an important freight corridor between Nowra to Tarago, Braidwood and into Queanbeyan and Canberra. Likewise, on that corridor, ultimately coming into Bungendore, we're looking to complete the works to construct the Bungendore roundabout at the corner of Melbourne Street and the highway. Likewise, in Bungendore, we're also looking forward to constructing our first off-street car park in Bungendore, accessed off Ellenden Street, and we'll do stage 1 of a off-street car park in Braidwood behind the National Theatre, accessed off Duncan Street. In terms of bridges, we have a lot of bridges that are under stress, a lot of bridges of course that are timber, and ultimately they are being replaced in the main by concrete bridges or concrete box culverts. So in the next 12 months we have scheduled to replace the Reedy Creek Bridge on Mayfield Lane, the Gidleigh Bridge on Gidleigh Lane, and we're also carrying forward our works on the bridges at Resh's Creek. We're continuing our work on the planning and the upgrades and the designs for the Queanbeyan Sewer Treatment Plant, and likewise the upgrade of the Bungendore Sewage Treatment Plant. Now, both of those works won't be completed in the next 12 months, but we'll be getting towards the point of having final approvals from the various levels of government, and we'll look to construct those works in the coming years. In the landfill area, we've got to do a lot more work on reinstating the landfill and rehabilitating the landfill around Bungendore. They're all legacy issues that once landfills close, that we need to fix up those sites. We continue to open and operate our transfer stations at Bungendore and Braidwood. Some of the new exciting projects we have coming up is at South Jerrabomberra. We've received a $23 million grant from the New South Wales Government. We're committing up to $8 million from council funds to build what we call the enabling infrastructure to go into the area south of Thomson Drive down to Jerra Creek. That's the roads and utilities and communication loops. But that investment will open up the Poplars Technology Business Park, provide the corridor that connects Jerrabomberra down to Tralee, the residential estate, but also provides the connection points for the new Jerra High School, the regional sports complex that's also based there near Jerra Creek, and a new innovation hub that we're looking to work with universities to establish. We're also putting on exhibition our revenue policy. The revenue policy basically talks around what's the rating structure, what are the annual charges, and what's the fees and charges that council proposes. In the main, Council has increased the total rate revenue by the rate peg set by IPART, that's at 2.6%. It's also proposed to increase all its annual charges, water, sewer, waste and general fees by that same amount. Our revenue policy also includes a new harmonised rating structure. Now that was required of all the merged councils to commence from next financial year. We've used a community reference panel to help us develop that from a number of options that Council considered earlier this year. What it fundamentally means is that we're using the same rating structure rather than two separate rating structures from the former two councils. But what is also significant is the New South Wales Valuer General has reassessed the unimproved land value of all the properties in our local government area. So to an extent, your individual rates may vary as a result of that land valuation, but it will not increase by the value of that change. The total rates the council receives will only increase by 2.6%, which is the rate peg. We have also introduced a streamlined financial hardship policy. Council has recognised that we've had the combination of drought, bushfire, flood and now COVID. So what Council has agreed to do is that for those farmland rate category properties that have been subject to drought, those properties that have been destroyed or damaged by bushfire, and those businesses that have been impacted and closed down as a result of COVID, or those property owners who have lost their job as a result of COVID, will now have 2 years to pay off their rates if they choose to apply for that type of relief. What's important is that while you come up with a payment plan across that 2-year period, interest will not be charged. We've also released for community comment a new planning document called the Local Strategic Planning Statement. Again, all councils in New South Wales are required to produce it. It fundamentally brings together the key ambitions of the Local Environment Plan and our Community Strategic Plan. But it does set the vision for each of the towns and the rural areas of our local government area. So we look forward to your feedback on that. And soon we'll also release the administrative review of our Local Environment Plan. Now that's not a big review, it's simply a refresh of both the former council planning instruments, harmonising the zoning and the uses and the controls, and that will also be out for comment in coming weeks. We look forward to your feedback.
We're very keen for the community to have your say. Make your comments. It's very important for all councillors and staff to receive input into our operational plan and fees and charges going forward. So the plans are out for consultation until Monday the 1st of June.